What is happening, y'all? It's your boy Sean Tastic, and I'm joined by the legendary jungle of Premiere, the great man, the myth, the legend, Paxty. How you doing, brother?
Doing great, Sean. How about you?
I am chilling and grilling, my boy. We got a nice, good game today, and I am looking forward to what we've got going on here tonight. So who do we have facing off tonight?
We have the Izamommies facing off against another team whose name I have lost. So
That
that's
is,
a great. We're off to a great start here.
I think that's Waffle House.
I believe it is. It does look like it's Waffle House based off my roster that I just pulled up. So yes, the Izamommies versus Waffle House, and it looks like we got right off, kicked our way off right into the picks and bans. So why don't we take a look at these bands here? They look pretty standard for things on this patch, on one side at least, and then on the other side, they must be target bans because Bakasura, Mercury, and Jingwei, all very meta picks right now. Very good hard carry gods. Makes sense they get banned out by the order side. But Chaos coming out with an Eset, Loki, and Chrononos. Chrononos being the real oddball there, in my opinion. What do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I haven't seen a CERN ban in like what, 2 months? That's weird. But that leaves them Kali open, and arguably, I think Kali's a better late game carry. Kali and King Arthur is a better late game than Nemesis. Nemesis is strong, but Kali is built different.
I was about to say, as a Nem main myself, the person who's had her banned against me every single set that I've played so far this season, I have not even gotten a chance to pick her yet. Seeing her top picked always feels good. I do agree that she's a top pick quality character, but yeah, the counter of locking in the King Arthur and the Kali right afterwards, man, that is not looking good late game for the order side. The Yemoja does come in. She
That's
does all right
definitely
into
going
the
to
Kali.
Lucent.
Yep, that's almost certainly going at support. She does okay into Kali. You know, the decent crowd control to at least force the Kali to either jump in or use her ultimate without but definitely not the support that I would have expected to get locked in into a Kali. I was thinking you'd expect to see something more along the lines of a Kepri or Sylvanas, another god that can really take them out. And then there we go with the Uller also being locked in. The other of the main ADCs I would say that get picked and banned in the first phase between him and Jingwei. The Uller right now is very strong, and especially another character that you can just hyper carry on. We see that pick countered out finally by the Jing Chen as well, so we see that uh, the order side has finished off their draft, and we're on to the second phase of bans. What do you think about this Xing Chen pick?
I think Jing Chen is slept on personally. He does a lot in the terms of just he has great peel. And people just kind of when they think of Jing Chen, they're just thinking of solo lane, they're thinking of, just hyper aggression, but he has amazing peel that most people just truly don't know how to utilize. You can get a whole group of people off of one person just by your knockup alone. Just stop everyone in their tracks and force beads out there, or you're forcing beads out with the Hoover vacuum ultimate that he has, and it's just he's very slept on in terms of support picks.
I agree, and with an ultimate name like this, the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, how can it not be great, right? Uh, I would say that Jing Chen is a great pick into Umoja as well. He's known for being the counter, and he will be a great initiating tool to allow this Kali and King Arthur to then get their own follow up on the back line here, especially on a god like Uller, Umoja, and Nemesis. All three of them do not have CC immune ults, so they will be easy targets for the Jing Chen. So let's look at the picks and bans or the bans for phase two here. We see the mid lane being targeted out here, Zeus and his brother Poseidon on one side, and then on the other
Mhm.
side we see, I believe that's AMC, and then we're waiting on the other one. Most likely going to be another Hunter ban. I would near that or a mid lane ban too. We will have to see, but there it is with the Chernobog. So you could argue that's four mid lane bans between the four characters there. I don't know, and in my humble opinion, those are the roles that those four characters do the best in. So maybe some slim pickings here. I'd expect to see something along the lines of maybe a safer mage like Morgan Le Fay being locked in here by the Chaos side. We'll have to see. I have no idea what mage the Izamommies are going to be picking up here, though, because man, when I see a Kali, Jing Chen, King Arthur, I don't know who I want that feels
Agni,
safe
I was
here.
definitely going to say Agni is a super safe because you have to think Kali's late game as all hell, right? And you need to have something to kind of help you transition, or else your whole team's gonna have to play back because your jungle, your hyper carry jungle, is not gonna come online for years. So Agni, such a safe pick. He's good damage overall, especially once he hits level 5 and he's just raining down bombs. No mana cost on that. Like that's super sick. And yeah, like I think Agni's a solid pick here. Hades coming
Ooh,
out. Hades
so
and ooh, it looks like an Uller mid then. Hades
yeah,
solo.
yeah. So we're looking at a relatively, and what I was gonna say about this team, the Izamommies here, is that they are CC light so far because when you top three Nemesis, Uller, and Yamoja, you've got essentially two forms of CC there, right? With the Uller axe and the Yamoja stun, neither of which are really good initiation tools in a fight. Obviously, Yamoja's got her ultimate herself, but
Let
I
me
would have
bring it
liked
up.
a little bit more CC coming out of Hou Yi or out of the Hou Yi pick or the Hades pick. I'll be curious to see how the Izamommies do initiate or start their fights. Because like what do you start with? Do you start with a Yamoja ult? But if anyone's in those positions to get caught in the first place, that's pretty rough. Or a Blink Hades sphere, who knows? I will say this Charybdis pick looks phenomenal here. She can escape Hades, Yamoja ult very
Oh,
easily, very safe from the Nemesis and Hou Yi as well. That's a that's a nasty backline right there with the Agni instantaneous stun too. The two of them should be able to peel each other out very, very easily. The Jing Chen will probably be able to help the dive, which will help the Kali out as well. What do you think?
all right. So I have a super hot take as per usual. One per stream, right?
Hmm.
I think Charybdis is extremely underwhelming as a god. She's super safe, and that's why people pick her up. But her ult is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It's just uncomfortable. I just don't. The only thing that makes her good, in my opinion, is the CC immunity on her ult and her escape. Everything else about her extremely underwhelming. Uller and Hu Yi both much better picks. And Hu Yi, this is the first time I've seen a Hu Yi in a while, and it's a significantly better pickup than Charybdis. More damage. His ult is easier to confirm with. His ricochet is nutty if you can land those, and you can zone. You really can zone people out with your two because they're afraid that the one is coming next.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. The main concern for me here is we've got two hunters on the Izamami side that prefer to build ability damage usually. For, so they don't complement to each other as well as let's say maybe a Hachiman would have. So that one goes crit, and then Uller almost certainly will be going the power pen build.
Hmm.
That's one thing that I think Charybdis has in this meta right now with her passive and with her other
Can
the
we
rest of her
highlight
kit.
Charybdis real quick?
Yeah, sure. Charybdis, her passive gives her that free attack speed that'll help with the Silver Branch Bow passive, and then also it was almost like a shadow buff when that crit change went through, where they made it more consistent and more where your crit chance goes up as you don't crit. Her passive, which is the triple auto attack, is actually is it's almost like a shadow buff because of that passive, because she is hitting more auto attacks per fight. They may not be hitting as hard, but because of the way crit works, they are hitting more frequently and more crits, more red damage. Everybody loves that, right? So this is a very interesting draft so far because I think when you look at solo lane, you've got the pressure of Hades into a King Arthur, but in the jungle
It's
as
still
well,
King
you've got
Arthur.
yeah, it's very tough to see who's gonna be favored in the early game here.
Yeah, Hades. Hades is just like he's an anti-warrior. Same thing with Vamana. They're anti-warriors. They're really good into literally every other warrior. Hades, that fear is really good to just kind of silence or I'm sorry, fear everyone out of their abilities, and that can really kind of put a damper on what Sylvanas, oh my Jesus, King Arthur is about to do. Um and just kind of really make him like have to play around Hades to do that. But at the same time, Hades himself is just very early game. He doesn't even have a skin on him. Come on, bro. And very early game, and he just kind of falls off late game. Not really with it. Um, that is a lot of stars on Yamoja. That is a super solid Yamoja one trick. I'm putting bets on it now that Yamoja gets banned out next game,
Ooh.
guarantee.
I was gonna say that's a very strong emoji pick there. Clearly, with that, maybe it is the one trick, as you said. That was a lot of stars. A lot of stars on the Arthur as well. This guy's got no friends, and it is what it is. He plays a lot of King Arthur, and I respect it. You gotta do what you gotta do. So now let's see. I believe everything is that really an Uller solo? No. Okay, so we're still changing things up around here. We'll have to wait for the builds to confirm things here, but I do. It is the Hades pick. What I really like about it in this situation, even though it is a little bit more CC light than I would have preferred, I would have almost preferred a Guardian in solo with this comp. It is magical damage, right? At the end of the day, Yamoja does a lot of damage compared to other supports, but that's not enough magical damage to prevent the other team from not building sovereignties, Jade Emperor's crowns, and other items that just hard counter these double or triple hunter comps or triple auto attacker comps like the Nemesis coming out as well. So we do see the Hades going teleport and tier 2 Bancroft, so that means he is most likely going to be going the Boombas Hammer build for late game, so he can just sit there and spam abilities, be a nuisance, be tanky, be everything that you ever want to be. Other than that, all the other builds look pretty standard. I'm the Kali that has Hog as well. Wow, they both have Hog. That's good to see too. I'm very happy to still see people be picking up Hog, because I know for a little while people were not in the jungle at least, and it was but no, both
It was
support. Oh,
weird. Even before this new tank meta nonsense, and before people started doing red, yellow, and then back cams, I would pick up Hog as a mid laner just because I couldn't trust that my jungle was going to pick up Hog. So I'm going to hog my own red when you come over so we can get to lane quicker. So Hog just feels nice, but even with these camps being not as tanky as the first go around, it's still nice to pick up. You just want to get to lane faster. And speaking of getting a lane faster, that is going to go to King Arthur. But essentially they're coming in at the same time.
yes, the big thing to note here in the early game so far is that the Waffle House did go for the red start, so that means they are not going to be hitting mid, and I think that's a smart play to do when you know you're going to be out cleared early, which Uller and Nemesis have pretty decent clear level 1. Versus Agni struggles to clear level 1. That's why people get his dash sometimes, even level 1. Kali
That's
struggles with it as well too.
risky.
It's
Yeah,
very
which is
exactly.
super,
It's
super
risky.
risky. And
Mhm.
also, in terms of starts for jungles and mids, I believe I was watching a game that you were playing, and you had started red, went to speed, did back camp, and saved your hog to do the second back camps, and then immediately went to lane. And I said, I was like, I want to try that, and we did that in my game versus the Ravaging Rabats, and it worked out really well both times. And it's a super solid start because you get your jungle to lane. They're level 2 when they get to lane, and you can't get invaded. There's nothing for the enemy team to invade.
That's the big thing there. So the reason why, a little secret here is the reason why I was doing at least is to avoid the invades and also to ensure that my mid laner is essentially forced to play with me because I have nothing else to go do either. So it's a little bit of a it's a self-discipline thing as much as it is also preventing that invade. Overall, this early game is going about what we'd expect. Kali and Nemesis are not exactly known for their pre-level 5 ganks.
Charybdis and Jing Chen taking a lot of damage from that Hu Yi. He is hitting his shots.
Yes, he is going to be hitting hard early here. That's probably the lane that we'll see the most action in. Arthur getting a little bit low here, but it looks like both teams are pretty comfortable getting their own buffs. No invades being looked at here. I think, yeah, definitely this left side of the map with the junglers not really having a lot to fight over. The mid laners and the ADC both have a lot of CC built into their kits to really be able to start up these fights, and most likely where we'll see first blood. But one thing we do notice is the Nemesis not only getting to invade purple, but the enemy team's red as well. Kali, it looks like she backed and went for her. I don't even know if she backed. I think she went to the.
She's taking a really long time to clear that.
Mhm.
Uller had to come over and help, and he did. He did get it. Oh, she took a really long time to take that buff down.
Oh well, you know that
Granted,
the
she is
second
only
red
level
buff.
2, but
Yeah, the second. So that's a very important thing to note. It is only the second red buff of the game. It is probably the tankiest it'll be to anybody at any point. Nemesis only being level 2 there is kind of surprising. I wonder what the farming path was, because if she's invading, she should be hitting level 3 off that invade. But either way, that is one thing to note. The Kali now, albeit her side lane or her ADC and mid lane are now a little bit behind, you know, not having their red buffs. They themselves are ahead, so we'll be looking for that Kali to try and make it up to these lanes, maybe by giving a good gank or something along those lines. Looks like all relics are up.
see maybe a potential play coming out of Charybdis here, but nope. They're just gonna push the lane out. They are gonna miss a couple of minions because they were trying to prioritize that Naga over there, but. Right now
Ooh,
we
hey,
got King Arthur hitting level 5 a little bit after the Hades. Kali is lurking. That Hades note can smell that she's there, and he's gonna back off, and she's gonna back off as well. So very good map awareness coming out from that Hades to know that danger was lurking nearby.
yeah, that Kali spent a long time there as well. She did not get any value out of that attempted gank. However, she is now at. Well, it is a Kali, so I shouldn't say her strongest point in the game, but her strongest point in the game most likely before level 12, I would say. With the full Golden Blade finished, we should be looking for a play coming out of here soon. Big stun, I believe, hitting the Charybdis there. I don't know if she did not bead. She held her bead, so well played to her. Looks like they are going for this purple buff invade, though. Kali, once
A
again, on the other
second
side of the
time.
map, they are conceding the buff. Now, we'll see if they're on time for red, but it looks. I'd be very careful over here if I
What?
were the Waffle House.
Why is that purple buff so tanky? Holy smokes!
See a big dive coming
Charybdis
in
ult
here.
coming out. Huyi ult as well with the Jing Chen. And he's going to get Nemesis off of the Charybdis. That is a 4-man rotation for 2 ultimates. That is real good peel out of the Jing Chen. Like we had talked about, all you have to do is just deny that team entry to that one person, and you are golden. Very
That
good
was
peel from Jing
that
Chen.
was a fantastic ultimate to get the enemy team off their back. I wonder if there's a little bit of a way to avoid that ultimate or avoid that problem here. Look at this Kali coming in looking for just a small invade here. She only gets the tick damage onto the Uller, though. That was some very, very nice peel out of Joy Wolf on the support for the Waffle House side. That,
Very much so. And again, Jing. Hades. Oh, so close onto that King Arthur. King Arthur's going, full magical defense right now. He's got tier 2 Pestilence, but Hades just almost able to secure that kill. But speaking of supports right now, they are both running Thebes with different starter items. We got Yamoja running Benevolence, and Jing Chen is starting with Watchers. What do you think of those 2 starters?
Yeah, so obviously I'm not a support player myself, but my understanding is that it's basically what part of the game do you want to play around and how you are playing. That's what determines which starter you go. So if you think you're going to be in the back line, helping peel your team, and you think you can get away with being a little bit less tanky early on, so Yamoja with her healing usually is able to do that, then Benevolence is what you want to start with because it does help you spool that gold a lot faster. However, what Sentinels does is it gives you a little bit of early tankiness, and it also gives you
King
Sentinel's
Arthur
boom.
ultimate. Oh, sorry to cut you off, but a blink coming out of Kali as well. Hades very low. Kali ultimate coming out, and first blood going to Kali, and Hades gets a return kill with that tower. We love to see it, folks. Very low. Oh, the Nemesis just missing a 2 on that Kali, but she does get first blood onto the Hades.
So the big thing to take away there, first off, the Arthur decided he didn't feel like surviving. I think with the tower shot there, he thought, oh, I'm gonna be like a nice guy and tank for my Kali, but oh, she did not need that tankiness, my friend. That's unlucky. Unlucky on the Arthur side. But one thing we do notice is that there is an invade to counter that. So while First Blood did go over to the Kali, They lost their blue buff for it, and also Arthur died as well to the Hades. So the overall net gold difference should be about the same, and it's reflected on the scoreboard as well. It seems like overall, most of the mid camps have been going pretty evenly, and outside of that first invade, there hasn't been too much action on the left side of the map. But losing your blue buff does not feel very good after you get first blood. That's for sure.
Very much so. It's pretty it's pretty crucial to have on someone like King Arthur. You want to just get that extra cooldown on your abilities because you're just going to be spamming them, and he's just taking a lot of damage from this Hades and from the minions, because minions are the way to go. If you can't clear them fast enough, they're gonna chunk you. They're almost like a real person at the end of the day.
Yeah, and especially when you're building into a magical damage character and you have Bluestone, you are going to be tanking a lot of those physical damage from those minions. Rather, obviously he has tier 1 round shield now, so some of that damage is mitigated now. But at the start, it is very hard to be a warrior into a magical character with Bluestone. Primarily, Arthur has no mana here. I think the enemy team recognizes that.
Oh, he just enough mana to be able to escape, and he was gonna get rotated on as well. But
Exactly.
that was a 4-man rotation coming out. Huyi jumping in. Charybdis does happen to go out, but Huyi gets a kill. It had to have been a ricochet. We did not see it, but Huyi does get a kill onto the Charybdis, and it's now 1-0 into the dual lane.
He's got
With an
about 3 seconds
card
on
as
his
well.
lead.
Ooh,
Yes.
he's gonna jump away from the Kali. Kali is definitely gonna try and chase that. Huyi's looking sweet, but the ultimate coming out from Huyi, slowing them down. He gets a stun on the Kali. Kali is going to try and back off. Oh, but Agni gets the kill onto the Huyi. Kali just gonna jump away, enjoy that he at least died at the end of the day.
Yes, Kali and I believe Agni, I would hope, would be thanking their lucky stars that that was not the reset that Kali needed to survive that engagement. I know I'd be cursing my teammate out if I died there. Oh, why are you taking my last hit? What's wrong with you? But the big takeaway there is that Hoi Yi was very, very close to surviving there. That was almost perfect peel, but the Kali was able to follow up on the damage, and the enemy team rotated as well. So, oh, well, look at this Arthur here going for a solo invade. They know the Kali's not on this side of the map. I believe he's going to get out because he does have
There's
enough
no way
protections at
they're
this
catching
point.
him. Not a chance. Even with the Nemesis ult coming out, King Arthur is just able to spin the win away and just not have to worry about anything. But getting a little bit of a boxing match, and yeah, the best part of Charybdis just gets used right there. Huyi with a nice little stun, no ricochet. Charybdis.
So
Not
what we're
doing
seeing
anything
here, yeah, what we're seeing here is the outcome of the Ikavol start that both of these hunters have gone. Oh, that's a
Good
beads
stun.
force out of
A lot
Agni.
of damage. Ooh, so close to Uller being caught inside the Yamoja. Oh, actually, they're on the same team. What am I saying? But Uller still finds the wailing, hailing axe down to come down onto that Agni.
Yeah, so this Charybdis, this duo lane right here, it's a double Ikavol lane, so that means basically whoever hits these auto attacks first is going to benefit from the passive more, and
That ult is so terrible. The only
it
good
didn't
thing
even
that
clear
comes
the
out of the
wave.
ult is the fact that you get CC immunity, and that if they're right in front of you, it'll push them into the bite. That's it. But even then, any
Now,
other hunter is better, with the exception of Neath, because Neath just isn't in a good spot right now.
at least in the duo lane, that's for sure. I can definitely see where you're coming from there. Now, we get another invade off on this purple buff. This poor Charybdis is getting bullied a little bit, and that is one thing that she does not have. When she falls behind and loses pressure, she's very, very easy to invade. Again, we haven't seen too much of a response on the other side, looking at maybe Arthur going for invades. I guess he did go for a solo invade, but that was unsuccessful, almost cost him his life. We'll have to see how
Moja is trying to jump away for her life from those bombs in the Jing Chen. Kali ultimate being forced out as well here. It looks like a Nemesis ult onto the Jing Chen. They're all going to just walk away. One thing that they're doing really well, and this is coming from both sides, is they're grouping. If someone's getting ganked, you're getting at least a 3-man gank, maybe even 4. And that's coming from both sides, which is why this game is so even right now. Because if you're gonna gank the King Arthur, then you can bet next turnaround that Huyi's gonna get ganked. it's just coming out from both sides, and I really like the glue, the togetherness that both teams are putting forth.
Yeah, they are matching the rotations pretty well. So we do see the Nemesis with Golden Blade going on this Pyromancer with her team.
Charybdis falling again to that Hu Yi making it look like it's light work.
Yes, so that Hoyi with the solo kill, and while his team is on the other side of the map as well, doing the neutral objective, good for them. Nemesis, it looks like she's going the Golden Blade into Hydra's Rush build. It's one of my favorite things about Nemesis is that you can build almost anything and be feeling pretty good about yourself. I like this build in particular into the enemy team because you are going to want to be auto-canceling onto that Agni, onto that either Kali or Charybdis. You're not looking necessarily. Yes, she is. Oh, Kali is
he gets a little bit of a slow on there. That was close for that Yamoja.
Oh boy,
dashing on. I don't think anything's gonna come of it. He's just kind of being a bully. I will say the one and only time I ever won a 3v5 in a Conquest match, I was playing Nemesis back in Season 1.
Oh wow, I didn't even know Smite existed back then. That's a long time back for me, but
very long, about 10 years. 10 years for me. I've been playing this game for 10 years. So, yeah, it was the one and only time we ever won a 3v5 in Conquest, and it wasn't even close.
Gosh. No, yeah, well, Nem's one of my favorite characters as well. Very strong. She does have Blink.
Whose beats was that?
Oh, that was...
That's Kali beads. I didn't even see her beads. Like, her actually, like, turn golden with those beads. But I didn't hear them go off. So Kali getting a little bit of stun on that Nemesis. Nemesis is getting chased down with that hastened katana doing work. Kali gonna jump away because she knew Uller and Yamoja were there lurking. So doesn't want to be there.
She does force the shell out of the Umoja though. So that's a... the Kali, while she hasn't been as successful on ganks as, we might be expecting. She has been forcing relics. She has been doing a good job staying even in farm with the Nemesis as well, who is going into a crit build too. So we're looking at the full Blink one-shot build.
But even so, like, she did have to pop her own beads, whether that be on purpose or by accident, with a good stun coming out of the Hu Yi. Charybdis not ducking, dodging anything. Half health and not looking very shaky under that tower right now. Kali did have to pop her own beads again, whether it be on purpose or it was an accident. Like it was a trade for trade on relics.
Yes, and it's interesting to see these builds coming out here from the ADCs. One side is going two bows. We've got the Atalanta's bow and Ichevol, but I can't say I've seen Ichevol very much. I mean, maybe there's Zatman viewers or something like that, but I have not tried that build.
Nemesis is really low. What a good Yamoja ult! Holy smokes! Making sure that Kali gets nowhere near that Nemesis, and that may be why he has so many stars.
Yeah, that was a fantastic ultimate for Peel. I'm not sure if the Nemesis even needed it, but that being
good
said...
Uller act, but Kali has no mana. She's just kind of trying to duck away. 3 bombs coming out from that Agni. They're going to be half health, but it's Yamoja and Agni. I'm sorry, Yamoja and Uller. They're going to be able to just heal that up and then just keep it pushing.
Yeah, so that isn't that a cool character? That you can just do that.
Bounce. I love the bounce.
Isn't it wonderful that you just get to clear a whole jungle camp for free because you're a character? We love those things. Just spite things, right? So Hoyi back in here, finally going to get his second relic. I assume it is going to be the Aegis, and he goes a full Deathbringer. So this is one of the most powerful moments biggest power spikes he will have during this game. When while he doesn't have a lot of flat pen online, he doesn't necessarily need it. The Jing Chen only has Thebes, the Arthur only having Glad Shield. The Arthur going double magical defense actually is very surprising to me, at least, into a Nemesis. Uller Hoyi team, but
that was it. Yeah, I don't know why she keeps trying to put pressure on him. Like he can't just get away. Like it is very difficult to lock down a King Arthur without hard CC, like an RDO. Just a big cripples, big roots. You need to have that walls because he's just going to get away. And with that being said, they do not have that. The only Kali blinking, getting the stun onto the Hu Yi dropping ult onto the Kali ult coming out as well. Charybdis ult to the Hu Yi, and it does miss, but Hu Yi is going to fall just barely to that Kali there.
Yes, well played by the Hui to last as long as he did. I'm assuming he leapt in, which is why he was unable to escape from the Kali after that stun. However,
That is a lot of damage coming out from that Uller. Even with the Aussie, Aegis coming out on the Uller, and he gets knocked up by Jing Chen, and he takes the L. Charybdis getting her first kill.
very difficult or questionable decision to go in there without your beads up, knowing that the Kali is right nearby. But I respect it. You know, you got to try and back up your team's honor. You know, you say, oh, that that gank failed. Well, let me help him out instead. And you know, sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles, right? Now, I'd be very surprised to not see a Spectral Armor coming out of both tanks on the Waffle House side as we see this
Moza
Wolf Fury getting
is
started up.
going on to that. That is a good Jing Chen ult. That is 2 people into that ult right there. They're all going to get trapped in there. King Arthur showing up as well, getting a kill onto the Nemesis. They do have 2 down. Yamoja and Nemesis both did fall. And they're going to be pulling that sweet, juicy Gold Fury any second now. Chain Waffle House getting a nice little bit of XP lead. They are 6-4 right now. Good jump and good secure from the Hu Yi onto that Kali. Hu Yi is putting on one hell of a show. He's making sure everyone knows that his backpack is wide open if you need the carry.
Now that is greed. That was very greedy by the Waffle House side, going for an invade, following that Gold Fury. You know, sometimes your eyes just get bigger than your stomach. Haha, Waffle House joke. Great job, Pat. You know, they definitely got a little overly ambitious there, especially with Kali not having beads or an ultimate. That was a very questionable tower dive, especially with Hoi coming back up after. Again, you take that objective, and I believe the gold was even after that objective, but yeah, and then you look, yeah, look at that. They were down by about 2K, and then it evened out after that Gold Fury. But now you're gonna see the spike go right back in the favor of the Izamommies. What a great name, by the way. You know, they're gonna be able to farm the map now without the fear of a Kali looming over their shoulder. We do see the Pyromancer being spawned as well, so I wonder if they will go to pull that right now. We'll see after this momentary pause what happens here. Uh,
Let's look at some of these builds while we got it paused, whatever the reason may be. I'm gonna check out this Hu Yi. Yeah, I'm really digging the build. It gets a little bit of sustain from Atalanta's bow, which, by the way, for years I thought that said Atlanta's bow, but I'm American. Um, and the Deathbringer coming out as well to just kind of maximize that extra crit. And it looks like he's probably going to be going into. I'd put money. It's going to be. Wow, Silver Branch. I could not think of that item. Probably going into Silver Branch. While Charybdis going on his 4th item. Charybdis still only has 2. She
I
probably has enough gold to get a 3rd, but she is very far behind in the item department.
I was about to say she almost certainly has just backed now after that last fight, and looks like she's about to buy. I mean, when you're an ADC brain person and you back with 3,200 gold, there's really only one item you're gonna buy, right? And that's Deathbringer. So I can only imagine that that's what's gonna come out here from the Charybdis on her side. Get that crit started so that she can really start burning through these tanks, especially. You know, Hades is pretty tanky to her right now with the breastplate and with the vamp shroud, and then tier 2 of what's most likely going to be spirit robe. She does only have a little bit of flat pen, so most of that front line is going to tank up almost all of her damage. I don't see a lot of damage being or coming out, at least from the Waffle House ADC at this point. She needs to keep farming and get to her next item. That's where I wonder if a Silver Branch is probably the smarter call here, even just to get that pen online so that you can start feeling like you're doing something, or maybe a Kin size as well could come out. We'll have to see. The rest of the build's looking pretty standard here. Agni going with the flat pen over some percent pen here after he gets that Chronos pen. And I can only assume that's a Soul Reaver coming out in the 3rd item slot.
Mhm.
Kali looking like the standard Kali build here. I'm curious to see what her bow is going to be finished into. I mean, again, Silver Branch is
Silver
just so
Branch.
powerful with
Silver Branch.
with the 20% pen. Doesn't even matter that the passive is useless on most gods that you build it on. You know what's up with that high res? Let's think about it another time. But will most likely see that being the Silver Branch. I mean, again, unless it is Atalanta's or
Should go some
Ichabod.
She could kind of like sell it and get her money back to go oboe and be funky with it. But yeah, no, I'm digging everybody's build right now. It's kind of good. Hu Yi does need to get some pen online, but I really like the build. I like the damage coming out of it. And I do like the fact that he's top. He's top of the damage charts by at 13,000, almost 14,000, with Kali being the next person at 11. Hu Yi is really punishing the Charybdis over in Dual Lane. He's gotten a couple of solo kills on her, and the only time he's dying is when he's getting ganked by two people. So he's
Yeah,
putting on a great show. Yamoja, one death. Everyone else on the side of Izamommies is rocking one death, with Uller and Hades both having a kill. I'm sorry, Hades and Tower having a kill. And Hui only having two deaths. But on the side of Waffle House, Jane Chen is the only person who hasn't died, but he's gotten 4 assists, so he's been a part of 4 of 6 kills, and he's right now he's looking like the shining star. Good peel coming out of him, and same thing with King Arthur. He's been real tough to pin down all game. Every time he gets ganked, he just kind of gets out, except the one death where he thought he should have tanked that tower for that collie.
yeah, yeah. And well, one thing that you do like to see coming out of your jungler, especially in a Kali, is 6 out of 6 kills she has been involved in so far for your team. That's the best case scenario for you, as she's at level 16 at almost 20 minutes now. She's getting to that late game Kali moments. One thing to note too, that Hou Yi is able to get away with having no pen in his build this late in the game, mainly because uh, he is so far ahead. He is level 18. He's going to be hitting like a truck. But he also does have his 2. That Mark of the Golden Crow gives bonus percent damage, I believe is what it is, to any target that he puts it onto. So anytime
Yeah,
that
the lower
that
they
you
are.
can, well, there's that, but it also just gives general base damage as well. So it helps you shred through tanks faster. Almost like a built-in anti-tank passive. So it's pretty awesome. Beyond the fact that obviously it lets you stun, slow, knock up, and do whatever else. One thing I
Hades
am
dashing
noticing.
in. Hades getting a two-man ultimate over there. King Arthur's getting out. So is King Arthur jumping on it. Oh, we are going all over the place. Let's see. Agni is dashing. The Gyamoja does secure a kill onto the King Arthur. Hades is trying to get into that backline and dive that tower, but Uller's going to finish a kill off on the Jing Chen, giving him his first death of the night. And that fight was so all over the place, but it does go in the way of Izamommies. They're going to get that Pyromancer for practically free.
Yes, so we do have the ward coverage here. It doesn't look like they feel confident enough to be able to take that Fire Giant right now, even in the 5v3. I don't blame them. This Trebuchet pushing down left side, doing a good job. So it looks like what happened there is Waffle House said to themselves, we have Trebuchet
Going
pushing
back in
down.
again. Kali's getting marked by the Hu Yi. She jumped in, super big headed. She does fall to the Yamoja. Agni dropping a couple of bombs onto. Who is that? Is that Yamoja? They all have the same color skins, yet Nemesis taking a lot of damage, super low in death. Agni gonna have to use that Aegis to get away from that Hades. He does get marked by the Hu Yi as well. Hu Yi jumping out. Charybdis is coming out as well. Who is she gonna hit it on? Ugly ult. It goes nowhere, but a good Jing Chen ult. He is forcing a shell out from the Yamoja. King Arthur is on his way back into that fight. Spin to win, my boy. Beyblade, let it rip. And Izamommies are trying to back off and retreat and get away from these freshly released Waffle House characters.
Yes, and now look at this Trebuchet continuing to push down. I mean, that's it should get at least one more shot off, I'd imagine, onto that tower. So maybe not, maybe not. There we go. That's a good tower and a half, though, that it got. But we see, with the Nemesis being pinged in left, that means that we see Waffle House pulling this Fire Giant. Now, they are not DPSing it very quickly because they only have the Charybdis on it. That last fight as well, by the way, looks like it was Waffle House trying to initiate off of that Trebuchet pushing down and knowing that they had the numbers advantage because someone had to go address it. But and then it seemed to be a case of Arthur getting caught, which now this is he tries to beads there, but man, that's 2 fights in a row that he's been caught where some beads might have saved him or kept him alive, and and we just haven't seen him early enough. Last fight, one thing I noticed, both frontliners were down from Waffle House, and they both had not only their ultimates but their relics up as well. And Jing Chen and Arthur should almost never be.
He's throwing him into tower. Good job. Huyi ult dropping down. Agni taking a couple of hits, not looking too shabby right now, but they're going to be pushing this T2 in mid, and it is very tanky right now. No minions. They are just free-balling it into this tower. They are going to secure that with Yamoja looking really, really low. Minions do finally come in, offer some support, but Hades forcing a shell out of the Jing Chen to make sure his carries live. Kali ult jumping in. She's actually blinking in, and she's not going to find anybody there. She actually almost falls herself. Huyi was around, he would have been able to secure that, but with the blink coming up from Hades after the Agni dash, Agni good stun and self-peel, he's going to be able to make sure that Hades takes his tail back to his own fountain.
Yes, and as we see now, the spectral armors are coming out, at least from Patroclus over on the Waffle House side. That should help him out a little bit, albeit now Huyi does have that Silver Branch Bow finish, so he will be hitting like a truck. Nemesis also having crit built or purchased here. She should be hitting Arthur for a little bit less, but at the same time, if she's hitting Arthur without an ultimate on him, then I think that something else has gone wrong in the fight to get to them to that point. But
she's
if we look
building crit into a Huyi, like a lot of crit into a Huyi. That's kind of like, yeah, I know there's other people on the team, but like the main person you're gonna be like 1v1ing is
Nemesis?
someone who has anti-crit.
Well, Nemesis is on the same team as the Huyi, but
No, I'm talking about Charybdis.
Oh, Charybdis, yeah. So, well, Charybdis, generally speaking, though, if the Nemesis, or not the Nemesis, if the Charybdis is at the point where she's autoing the Huyi, then something went wrong in that team fight. Generally speaking, you don't want to be seeing those ADCs at this point in the game, at least, autoing each other. Something has to have happened. Now, this Gold Fury being pulled is interesting, leading to this Fire Giant pull where it's essentially 5v1 at the moment. Hades just has to stall. Fire Giant is essentially like his
good 5-man. Oh, Hades is gonna get burned. He gets a double kill thanks to that Fire Giant, and they are definitely forced to turn tail and run. Nemesis ult coming out under the Jing Chen. Jing Chen falls to the Uller. That was a phenomenal Hades play right there. Good stun coming out from Yamoja. Holly's gonna be able to jump away. That was such a good ultimate from the Hades, with the Izamommies going to be able to take over that Fire Giant and just clean it up.
Now that is a big gold swing right there, and just as I was saying, Hades had a 6th teammate in that Fire Giant right there. That was the best timing I could have ever had, because, wow, I mean, he ended up taking a lot of damage as well, but he timed his ultimate perfectly, where the fire pit spawned underneath him, and, oh man, Nemesis greeding out here. Oh no. Oh, you hate to see that. Well played by Waffle House.
That is the same thing that Kali did earlier. Come on.
Yeah, so it's 1-1 now, and we'll see if he gets caught as well. I don't know. This is oh well, he has crit and he's a hunter in this patch, so it doesn't matter. He can just kill it instantly. But yeah, those are just things you hate to see, especially when your team is sitting there with Fire Giant. Someone like Nemesis as well. The ideal thing that she can do on these pushes is split off to pull the Kali away. Because if the Kali isn't going on the Huyi or the Uller, then Arthur and Jing Chen at this point are almost certainly not killing them either. So. And again, it's highly unlikely that Agni or Charybdis are going on the backline as well. So but now without Fire Giant, it becomes a lot more difficult for the Nemesis to split off on the side of the map and actually threaten a Phoenix like she would have to force that Nemesis or that Kali to come take the fight with her over at a different bird than where the team is at. So we'll have to see. We've got some really good sieging ultimates too on the side of the Izamommies. I think this is their game to lose at this point.
Very much so. The Izamommies have put themselves in such a phenomenal spot. What a good jump from that Huyi. Agni got a dash away. Huyi is going to get the ultimate and the stun on 14. The Aegis and the help from the Jing Chen coming over. Charybdis using her escape just to make sure she doesn't get caught into that little corridor. A lot of ult. Oh, Huyi does find the kill onto the Jing Chen with the Charybdis ult coming out, hitting nothing. Another Agni bomb coming down. They are going to be able to siege that T2 tower in the duo lane. Huyi is ulting under Phoenix right now, and he does get the kill onto the Agni. Oh my goodness, that is a lot of damage coming out with the Aegis and ultimate coming up from Kali to make sure she can try and pin down Huyi. Huyi is going to fall finally, with Nemesis getting a kill onto the Charybdis, and then King Arthur finding a kill onto the Nemesis. Right now, it is a 3v2 in the way of Izamommies, with a blink coming out from the King Arthur. Kali is behind. She gets a double stun off. King Arthur spin to win with the Yamoja ult coming out to make sure if I'm here, you're here too, with Kali falling to that Hades. King Arthur very, very, very well boxing these three people out, but he's a King Arthur. I don't know what else to really expect.
Yeah, well, that was actually some fantastic peel by the Hades for the Uller there. That you saw that hamstring come out from the Arthur trying to catch that Uller before he was able to leap away, but he was feared away instead. That was very well played by the Izamommies. Now, that fight all starts with Agni having his beads and Aegis forced in the same moment by that Hou Yi, where then he gets chased out and the Hades catches him with his dash down and is able to just sit there and ult him and say, "Hi, buddy, you're getting sucked right back into the vortex with me." You know, give him the good old, you know, let's redact that statement. We'll keep it moving here, but Agni was unfortunately again with no relics. What is he supposed to do in that situation as the Hades sits there with that ultimate, the Pillar of Agony? Man, that's yeah. There's a joke in there somewhere. There's a joke in there somewhere, but we'll keep it we'll keep quiet about it. As we now, the big thing to note here as well, Jing Chen, he did just get that spectral armor online. He did not have it for that last fight, which is why we saw him get melted at the tier 2 Phoenix, or not Phoenix, tier 2 tower. However, being level 15 at this point in the game, and it's not his fault. Supports are very underwhelming right now, very having a very tough time getting farm at this point in the game, or in this meta especially. But that is a Jing Chen that, unless he gets his one on Uller and Hou Yi, he will be dying in, or maybe even before he finishes casting his ult, if he goes in, honestly, like at this point, especially if they beads it or use relics of some kind. This is it is a tough time to be a Jing Chen, and it almost makes you wonder if he's better off just peeling, but the problem is, once again, if he's not back there helping out the King Arthur and the Kali, they are almost certainly not killing and Uller and Hou Yi at this point in the game.
Absolutely, but you have to just find that nice fine line in the sand of like, what would you rather have your support do? Initiate with your jungle and your solo, and then, you know, leave the two carries to fend for themselves, or have the solo and the jungle just do what they should be doing and trying to pick off the back line and split them up while making sure you're taking the brunt of the damage for your two carries. It is a little bit of a tough call, but honestly, in the way of Waffle House, I think Jing Chen would be much better off peeling, getting Hades off of their back line, getting Nemesis off of their back line. That looked like a King Arthur ultimate that just dropped down, but Nemesis taking just a couple of hits of damage from the Kali, and Hades very low. Nemesis ult coming out onto the Kali while Kali is ulting just herself. Hou Yi ultimate coming out as well. A big Charybdis ult onto the Hades. Jing Chen spinning to winning onto that Yamoja, and Kali falls to the Nemesis. Right now, King Arthur is trying to go for that Uller. It was very tasty to him. He's going to jump away. Double kill for the way of Nemesis, getting a kill on Charybdis. Hou Yi getting a kill onto the Agni. Right now, it has turned into a 5v2 situation. Agni is dashing in. King Arthur is in a very rough spot, but the spin to win is doing a lot to keep him alive, but those crits are coming out, and a stun coming away from that Hou Yi. A shell coming out of Jing Chen as well. King Arthur blinking away. If they keep chasing, they might put themselves in a little bit of danger, but both support and solo are both going to be able to survive that engagement, and fire could potentially be looked at here. They're kind of low. It is a little risky.
This is EFG as well, so it's going to be doing a lot more damage, but, you know, they've got Yamoja, so they just don't even have to worry about it now. So the Izamommies off of that team fight do get EFG. Big thing to note there, Nemesis had a fantastic team fight. She was able to force the Kali out and off of the Hades, who was stuck in his ultimate as well, and then chase down the Kali and take her out. Now, I didn't see if the Kali's relics were up at that point, but that it feels terrible, but sometimes you do just have to beads that slow. You know, you do have to bead slows, and you know, you want to save those beads for other relics. But at this point in the game, a slow from a Nemesis, especially when she's got a build like this, where she's going to be critting you for 700 damage per auto, man, you are you feel it feels bad, but you just got to bring it out, right? Now, the Erendite last item here, I like this pickup because it gives her that 20% CDR, gives her a little bit more of a cooldown, and that passive. What character uses Erendite passive better than Nemesis? I don't think I can name a single one, because, man, that ultimate just suits it.
I agree. Erendite is very, very fitting onto a Nemesis. Not many other folks are able to utilize it as well as she is, but she did a phenomenal job of just chasing down that collie, making sure she was picked off. Because Kali was doing really well. She was 3-1 at one point, potentially even 4-1. And now she is 5-4, so she's been getting caught out a little bit more. Nemesis has come back in kills. She was 0-2, and now she's 3-3, doing a great job while her back line is just punching damage away. A blink coming out onto the Kali. She's using blink like it's going out of style.
Yeah, I respect it. Unfortunate that she gets her Magi's Cloak forced out as well, so she will have to use her beads. But now, without that blink, and without even forcing Nemesis beads or any other relic or ultimate, now she's forced to engage without that, or her team is forced to engage too. And granted, she's definitely having a tough time here. I should let you take away here, though, as a team fight is
starting. Looking like a big team fight is coming out of Yamoja. Ult kind of zoning out two different sides of the fight right now. King Arthur is going to find a kill into that Nemesis. Kali very low, had to use her ultimate, but Hades jumping in, not going to secure the kill onto that Kali. The Charybdis ult coming out is not really hitting anyone. Hades is just kind of zooming around the Charybdis, and the Agni. Uller jumping back in, but right now Jin Chen is trying to chase this Hu Yi. Hu Yi is getting really far away from this King Arthur. He wants nothing to do with him. Kali jumping back in, getting a kill onto the Hades. Charybdis finding a kill onto the Yamoja. Hu Yi is jumping away. He does get hit by the mini King Arthur ult. He's super low, but he is walking away. Right now it is 4-5v1. If Hu Yi can survive, this might be a Phoenix, but he's going to fall. That is a deicide for Waffle House. They are going to run it down solo lane. That was a phenomenal fight, and that right there is peak Smite.
I have so many questions. I mean, there's some relics up still on the side of Izamommies. The Nemesis beads being still up, and I don't know what happened in that fight. Her ultimate was still up as well, so I wonder how she got caught out. I didn't see, but this is scary. For Izamommies. I mean, yeah, you're going to lose the worst Phoenix on the map to lose. That duo side Phoenix, that just it hampers your next Fire Giant push, which is, I assume we'll get to see now. This might be a little bit greedy from the Waffle House, trying to take this mid tower, but it looks like they're going to be able to get away with it uncontested. There were a couple of... I respect the audacity, of the Izamommies. Jumping in with Uller is another thing I noticed in that fight. That happened, but I wonder if they're just struggling with the engage. Where was the Yamoja ult that fight? Where did it?
The Yamoja ult came out very early. Now, when they were over by that Phoenix, can we just stay here just for a second? That the Yamoja ult had come out in between the second and third ring on the back part of the Phoenix. She was completely zoning out two different parts of the fight. King Arthur on the left side closest to the bird, and he had taken down one person, while there was two people, I believe it was Nemesis, Kali, and someone else on the other side of the ult closer to the fountain. That was a great Yamoja ult. However, it did put everyone in a weird spot, and two people died that shouldn't have. Uller jumped back in when he shouldn't have, and then Hu Yi just wasn't quick enough to really get away. But Jing Chen is getting caught out here. Are they really going to chase that? It looks like they are. Yamoja's kind of boosting them up. He gets caught in the backwards of the ring. He's going to have to ult away, but he still falls to the Hu Yi. Hu Yi is showing he's a very strong hunter right now, and we love to see that.
Very, very well played by the Hu Yi to get that kill there. I mean, again, it is a lot to use your ult here. Uh-oh, Arthur looking like he might be caught out as well, but I think they're going to be able to back up here. Now, this is where it's tough to be Waffle House right now, because now you are supportless for 35 seconds. EFG has just spawned.
Supportless, and your sword doesn't have ult either, even if he was up.
Yes.
And King Arthur is coming back in. Kali's Magi's Cloak is up. See if we can make any engagements happening. But that's a nice little sword fight. Feels like I'm watching an anime with that King Arthur and that Nemesis duking it out. Waffle House get the fire. Wait, Waffle House got the Fire Giant?
Whoa, that is surprising. I mean, we
That
saw.
is great with a good Yamoja. Oh, that is a shocker of the night right there. Nemesis is getting a kill. Oh, they traded Agni and Nemesis killing each other. It's like Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, that's very sweet. Now, what we did see in that fight was the Agni get knocked up by Fire Giant. I wonder if that's why that kill was possible for the Nemesis in the first place. I really do want to see what happened, though. Or I do wonder what stole that Fire Giant. We see Kali now just doing Kali things, and this is,
Yeah,
I think this is GG here,
I think
unfortunately.
that's
That's.
it for Izamommies. They had a lot of momentum and they were able to snag that EFG. The worst Fire Giant to lose, of course, with Winions pushing in on the left side of the map. What that did that fear hit?
It doesn't matter. He's just, oh, that one hit for sure. But yeah, I mean, we've got a Kali here. No ultimate on the Kali, but we do have an ultimate on the Jin Chen. Going for the Phoenix. I guess that's a play you can do here. Wasting a little bit of time. Nemesis back up in 8 seconds, so we'll have to see if 80s can survive. I mean,
80s
oh
Pillar of
man.
Agony coming out. He's not going to be able to survive Deicide in the way of Izamommies. Nemesis is up. Is she just going to let them take it? Come on, get in there. Why are you taking the scenic route? King Arthur brings Nemesis up into the air. Kali is just hammering it down. And game one goes to Waffle House. 20 to 22, 38, 44. Good job coming out of Waffle House for turning that around.
Now, I think the only thing that can really be said there is late game Kali diff. I think that is what it's, I mean, obviously there were some plays by all players on the team. It sounds like an Agni bomb is what stole that Fire Giant away. Incredible considering again, I called out you got knocked up by the EFG pit. By it's I guess that bomb was already launched, and man, that's crazy that you guys were able to secure the Fire Giant like that. Or that Waffle House rather was able to secure it. But again, I'd love to see some of these damage numbers on the other side. This Kali was just running it down later on. I mean, look at that, 37,000 damage, uh, forcing relics. Again, this is where Oler and Hoi they struggle into Kali because their leap is not very long distance, and
Kali's is.
they don't have immune in their ult. Kali's is about the same distance as both of theirs. And again, with that hasten katana with Fatalis, she is able to just stick and late game Kali. She gets one reset off in a fight, and you're in some serious trouble. And that Magi's cloak was a great pickup because it did. Nemesis has no way to proc it from distance. The only real thing that can proc or get rid of that Magi's cloak is either a Yamoja stun, an Oler axe, or a Hoi stun ricochet, which if they're doing that at that point, then most likely Kali's already on them and taking their entire health bar as well. So that was a very, very well played game and a great decision to pick up that item instead of the Golden Blade at that point in the game when your clear is already good enough. So I believe will we be taking a short break before we get right into game two?
Potentially. Let's see something really quickly. So, in terms of this damage, I had peeped the numbers. I didn't get a chance to say it. The Hu Yi was at 39,000 damage. The Kali was at 29,000. And then by the end of that game, Kali jumps up almost 10,000 damage, while Hu Yi only goes up 3. That shows that Kali was in there like the 80s. She was all over them and was just melting them down. And that was phenomenal damage, phenomenal kills coming out of the Kali, who was 5-4 at one point, and then all of a sudden now was 9-4. King Arthur was making sure that he was taking everyone up in the air, and he was kind of holding Nemesis off to the side and just boxing her out and just kind of keeping her attention away from the folks she should be getting onto. That was great turnaround from Waffle House for sure.
Yeah, and I have to wonder on those sieges. I mean, we saw them defend, I believe, two different sieges, right? Waffle House did from that the Izamommies, and I wonder if one of the reasons why they struggled to siege is who is their initiation on this Izamami side. Is it a Hades Blink ult where he's just going to get nuked? Is it a Yamoja ultimate? Like, where is your engage on this team and in this draft? So I'd love to see them address that later on as we get into game two picks and bans. And like some people in chat are saying, I don't expect to see Kali again. I really wish that was a league ban myself personally, because I hate having to ban it every game as well. It is just an unfun character, it's just You make it past that 30-minute mark, and suddenly you're just, yeah, you auto for like 400 and you win the game because you're a
If
Kali and you can't be killed for 6 seconds or however long her ultimate is.
Yeah, if you can't box her out faster than she can you, and you can't survive the ultimate, you're not gonna win that engagement unless she just decides to like choke straight up. Kali is very strong. I make sure to get her out in all of my games because don't need that. I'd rather deal with a Mercury than deal with a Kali. She's very, very strong at this point in the game, but she's one of those gods that she's strong for a bit and then falls off for a while. So um, hopefully she'll start falling off soon, so we can have a fun jungle again and not have to counter her with a Bakasura, just so that way it's kind of even.
Mm. And now I'd like to see though too is uh I believe it was the Izamommies who banned out most of the meta picks, such as that I believe it was Bakasura, Mercury, and who's the hunter Jingwei, right? So we saw those
Mhm.
bans. Let's see how they adjust here. They did end up taking the first pick slot again, so we'll see. Maybe they force the hand and use that first pick as a pseudo fourth ban and take the Kali themselves. We'll have to see.
Yeah, this game right now, they had banned out some weird picks on the side of, I believe it was, what is their team name? Waffle House. I believe they were banning out weird stuff like Cernunos, Loki. Like it was like,
ESET
okay,
as well. And wait, I stand
The
corrected.
ESET ban comes back out. That has to be a target ban. There is no way that is not a target ban. It's she's good, but she's not that good. To ban out just as like I'm not focusing somebody. But are they gonna let Kali get through again? We got Mercury and Bakasura banned out. Jingwei and Eset. AMC's coming out. Kali off the table, very much so, and we can definitely expect to see a Yamoja come right back out for Izamommies.
Oh,
Nemesis getting first picked for their jungle on the side of Waffle House.
yeah, well, there we go with the Nemesis. That's again just a top pick right now, and maybe virtually was like, well, all right, fine. If you're gonna give me Nemesis, I'm gonna play her too. Again, it's a character that has a very high skill ceiling, but also can kind of play herself a little bit as well. And how do you the big thing with Nemesis right now is how do you counter her? You pick someone like Kali, you pick another character that really another character she struggled with was Erlang Shen, right? That's and that character, his kit has been changed completely to the point where she no longer gets countered by him. So yeah, we expect to. It's one of the main reasons why Nemesis is good, along with the fact that she can build almost any item in the game right now and still be feeling pretty good. The emoji does get, I believe, locked in, or it's at least being
Not
hovered by the.
If it doesn't get picked up this game, I'd be surprised because he is in fact a Yamoja one trick.
Oh, there you
Um,
go.
Uller coming back out again. They didn't see any issues with that, so they're gonna bust it back out. Maybe we'll see if that's going to actually go to ADC or if it's going to go mid again. They may want some actual mid lane damage. His Hades just isn't enough. King Arthur and Jing Chen coming out yet again. We're starting to see some very similar picks. Just so far, it's only one that's been on a different team.
Running it back here? Is this a salty run back by the Izamamis? We'll have to see. I mean, if they whip out the Hoi Yi, then it definitely is a salty run back. We'll have to see. The Clean comes out though instead, and we don't know where that's going yet. It could be solo or jungle. I think that both roles she feels very very strong in right now. Still, even after what was it, the fifth nerf in a row, to her damage, to
She just
her.
looks broken.
Mhm.
Just like look at that card art. She looks like high res made it, and so it's gonna be absolutely busted.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I do notice on the side of Waffle House, they felt very comfortable with that front line of King Arthur and Jing Chen. And again, hopefully the Jing Chen doesn't get put so far behind at the mercy of their team. This
See
time around,
Poseidon banned out again. Sorry to cut
mhm.
you off.
No,
Poseidon
you're,
getting banned out.
but yeah, so Nemesis being on their side is going to make them feel a lot better too, because they are no longer going to be Nemulted and then just have to run away with their tails between their legs. Or I don't know. I guess
Hmm.
Arthur and Jing Chen don't have tails, so never mind. Uh,
That
but
is
yes, we do see Loki and Poseidon banned here so far. So again, it looks
Loki is
like
also definitely a target ban. For
It must
sure.
be because Nemesis feels pretty good into him, especially because she can build Erendite so easily into her kit. She should never be losing that 1v1 late game, assuming she plays it properly, relics properly, and things like that. The Poseidon, though, getting knocked out, I agree with
New
that. He's one of the strongest characters right now because he's able to build all of those meta items like Toxic Blade, Zoom Orb, a little bit. Able to get that Eye of the Jungle and run around, do whatever he wants. The Agni target ban, I believe, is coming out as well. So they're saying, all right, we're not gonna let you run everything back. Let's bring something else out here. Be
Maybe
curious to
we'll
see.
see that turn ban? Question mark.
Maybe, yeah, there it
Yes,
is.
there it is.
There,
They are just sticking with it. The if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're gonna get Apollo, so it's gonna be Uller mid again. Apollo ADC.
yeah. Well, we'll have to
Hu
see.
Yi coming back out.
Man, the Hoi Yi is really just a must be a
Are we? Is this live? Are we running back the first game? Okay.
Now we're hovering Thoth. Okay, I respect it. Thoth doesn't feel too bad into these picks here, but the
Raijin.
Raijin. Oh man, don't lock in the Raijin. Don't do it to me. Don't make me cast a Raijin game. Oh boy.
Raijin ult. Yes, sir. We love the drums. Do 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 do.
Oh,
With the
very cool
Gilgamesh
character,
being the
but
last pick.
does Raijin do damage? I think he's bugged right now. He doesn't. His abilities they just they don't hit as hard as they used to, and we'll have to see what the build path is because I don't know, man. I feel like when I'm sitting there banging on those bongo drums, the taiko drums, pardon me, when I'm sitting there playing him myself, it feels like I tickle the enemy team. I think what the worst defense of it was when I in a ranked game recently, I was hitting a backliner at level 5 with the ultimate, and I did 67 damage per tick
Yeah.
with the full damage. That is awful. He auto attacks for more than that at that point in the game. So I'll be very curious to see here. I do like the Gilgamesh lock in here. That's a character that can just never be bad. We'll have to see. It looks like Kleena is in the solo lane. Big thing to note here, though, coming out of this side of the Izamommies is they have 4 physical damagers and a Yamoja, and they no longer have someone like Nemesis or I don't believe they had the Hui, but someone like that. They don't have hunters that are known for their tank shredding or for their tank killing. So
I
it's gonna be
think
very difficult here.
Apollo's pretty solid at shredding tanks. The second that passive kicks in, all of a sudden he's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So like he's just taking someone down. Again, assuming he's hitting his shots, but they are gonna sacrifice magical damage for 4 physicals, and I don't know if that's gonna be the play because you do need magical damage, and like unless you're gonna run double guardians, because guardians just come with a lot of CC. I don't think running double hunters is the wave here. Not again.
Yeah, and one thing I just noticed actually, and it's something that's been the theme this set so far at least, is where's Baron Samedi, man? Like that is a character that has been heavily prioritized in the SPL and in high level ranked for a long time. Like for all of this patch, essentially. I mean, to the point where he had to get nerfed. I'm very surprised that there is no Baron being looked at here by either supports or even solo laners too. I mean, the Hades was a good pick last game, but I feel like that would have been just as strong here as well. So we'll have to see as these guys all load in and we get our positions all corrected. It is the Gilgamesh jungle, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that character just will always be solid in the jungle. Again, how do you nerf a character with that amount of CC without just making him do no damage? We'll have to see what Hi-Rez figures out eventually, because I believe this is the first patch since his release that he has not gotten a nerf. Oh, and a surrender comes out. Wow, I
Wow,
think
that was
we
the
are.
fastest game I've ever casted.
I know, me too. But I assume we'll be right back.
And if Hi-Res does decide to do anything with nerfing people, they got to be careful because when they nerf some folks, like they put them in the ground, and like it's so difficult for them to come back that they have to revert the nerf that they did. Like take Jing Chen for instance, he was king of the solo lane alongside Bellona and Sun Wukong at one point. You only saw those three in solo lane. And then they said, Jing Chen's too strong, so we're gonna remove the CC on his two. So I think you may have just gotten hit with the knockup, but the root was gone, and he just kind of fell off the face of the earth for over a year. He was just not it, and they were like, wow, we kind of messed up again. So they brought it back, and then they had also done something like that with Apollo. They had to revert something that they had done previously as well to bring him back to a spot. I think it was his ult didn't have a knockup, and now it does again. So they when they nerf someone, they either just don't nerf them enough, or they nerf them back into before they were there. Nothing.
Yes, indeed. And as we wait for the match to load up, most likely here, we're given a little bit more time to talk about these drafts. And I make the joke about Raijin not having that magic damage, but man, if I'm on the I believe it is the Izamommies, and I am not seeing a Sovereignty rushed. Or no, it is not the Izamami. If I'm on Waffle House and I don't see Sov rushed by Joy Wolf here, I think I'm F6ing. I don't know. There is no magical damage coming out of the Izamamis. Again, Umoja, not the worst support at doing it, but I mean, we mentioned earlier, at least Apollo and Uller, they build different things, right? One builds pen, one builds crit, most likely, but when that Kleena, unless she goes full glass cannon, she's not going to be able to do nearly as much damage as she would have if she had a mid mage, or in the same way the Gilgamesh either. That's one of those frustrating moments too when you're a jungler and you see your ADC and mid laner lock in those hunters. You know that the enemy team's building that Sov. You know that all those Jade Emperor counts and everything else are coming out, and you're just left saying to yourself, well, I'm not going to be able to kill the backline anymore on my own, like I might have been able to before, if there wasn't so much focus on the damage that I was going to be doing as well. So again, we'll have to see. Game should be getting started here, so apologies for that delay. I believe we are remaking as we speak. What do you think of the matchup between this Uller and Raijin in mid? I mean, one thing that Raijin has is in order to
Drums.
clear what, yeah, well, he does have drums, yes, but in order to clear he does have to stand close to the wave, and that's something that Uller takes advantage of, especially since he has to stand there and he has to sit there and actually bang those drums. He has to sit there and cast for 2 seconds. Every wave, if I were that Raijin, I'd be sweating, I'd be nervous, going into trying to clear into an Uller who can just axe me at any moment and decide that he wants to force my beads.
Yeah, I think Uller definitely has the lane pressure. Raijin's not nearly as strong as he used to be. Mages as a whole aren't as strong as they used to be, but Raijin's one of those gods that like he just kind of fell off. You have to build in this new meta, you have to build Book of Thoth or Warlock Staff to really do anything. Not many mages are able to build both, and also not many mages are able to build either and survive. There's just some guys that just it doesn't work on them, and it just kind of it's almost like boots before they removed it. It was just it's taking up a spot that it doesn't need to. So you just got to be careful. Some mages just really aren't that good. Raijin's definitely in that pool. So Uller should be the one swinging hard in the early and mid game. If Raijin's able to come online, he's going to do a lot with that magic damage, and really kind of make them regret not picking one up. Hopefully, that's what you want to see when you go for physicals in one game. Um, ugh, I don't know. I don't like the four physicals, man. Not at all.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Now, one thing that the Raijin also does bring, and I'll give them credit for, if this was intentional, is they apply anti-heal better than almost any other mage in the game. There's maybe you could say Discordia does with her unruly magic or other abilities, but Raijin always going to be applying that divine and making it last throughout a team fight on most characters. So that Umoja does get pretty hard countered by him. He's very safe as well with that Thunder Crash and with the Fear on his ultimate.
Remember
Passive
back
is,
when you could pull him from with a Wheelix ult?
I did not. Man, I didn't play back then.
So
That
back,
sounds broken as hell. What the heck? That's
yeah,
super good.
back in the day, um, you could pull him and Chalk on an wheel assault because it was a leap teleport, but it was also a leap, so you could pull it. Chalk is still to this day the only god whose jump I was never able to pull, but I have seen someone else pull him.
That is just,
You have to
you
have
know
the
what?
most galaxy brain, mind reading type of like they're gonna throw their axe and jump to it at exactly at this point. I think I'd probably uninstall if I was playing a game with someone doing it. I saw a top 5 play where someone had done it and it was great.
Yeah, that's man, you learn something new every day that you play Smite, and I love it. As for build so far, looking pretty normal here. I did say it already. I'd be again. If I was the backline for uh, Waffle Hut here, I would be shocked to see the Thebes being rushed here coming out of Joy Wolf. But at the same time, you know what? You don't have to rush that stop to get online, especially this early on in the game. You know, man,
Ooh,
if
good
Thebes is
drop
just
kick
such a
coming.
comfort item.
Ooh, Raijin dashing in. Good axe coming from the Uller. That Nem is looking very shaky. So is Uller. Good damage coming off of Raijin. We were just talking about Raijin kind of losing in the damage department early to the Uller, but he's showing he's here to play.
Yep, and with that cooldown item and Sands of Time in mid lane, he's going to be able to be spamming those abilities a little bit faster, along with his passive helping out. You know, with that, getting those abilities up as frequently as possible. You see those drums lighten up, and again, I don't expect to see too much bloodshed in the mid lane early on. Again, Uller might be able to get some relics out of the out of that Raijin, but I don't know. It's going to be again, it feels like Gilgamesh is going to be the one to follow, I think, at this point. He did go Bumbas, so he's most likely going for a more late-game focused build. You know, going Bumba's Hammer instead of that Eye of the Jungle for that early damage and clear. But we'll have to see. Yeah, Boomba's, he most likely wants that Boomba's Spear, or Boomba's Dagger, or Boomba's Hammer, that, you know, applies so well with his kit, where he just gets to spam abilities late game in a team fight. Nemesis here hovering, trying to contest these mid camps, and we'll looks like
It does go to the way of Nemesis.
yeah, she got it. So man, that's a feels bad if you're the other guys over there, but Nemesis does have pretty good damage on her one early game, so maybe not. It doesn't feel too bad at this point in the game. So again, doesn't look like any invades are going to happen on these first buffs. That is
I don't know
something.
what that was. Oh, that was Himoji. Okay, I'm sorry. I was like, I don't know why they did that to clear wave, and I forgot it's opposite team. So,
Yeah, yeah.
pardon me.
All good.
And really quickly, while we got a little bit of a slow time right now, definitely want to give a shout out to our cam. SEAL Team Breaks, definitely appreciate you coming out here so we can cast these games live in real time. All of our cameras, we really do appreciate everything you guys do to give us the best quality content for us casters here. So thank you.
Oh, come on, don't give him that much, Vaniga. I mean, he's done an okay job so far. I tease, of course, and he brings us back to base. That's the punishment we deserve at this point. But yeah, so yeah, again, thank you so much for giving us some fantastic cam work so far. Again, so no invades have happened yet, and now one thing we do notice is the Arthur and Kleena has been a pretty uneventful lane so far. I say that as Gilgamesh comes in. Poor Arthur, you know,
that drop kick did not connect.
Yeah, that's unlucky. Mistimed on that, and you know sometimes it just happens. Sometimes you just you let it out a little early, and it just you know you have to just walk away. However, what happened there is that King Arthur fell for the classic bait of I just hit level 5, and I have a fully charged ultimate from laning phase. Let's get in there, you know. Let's get in there, and he's lucky. Let's just say I don't think he dies off of that kick unless he takes a tower shot or two, especially being that he already had TP'd back in with tier 2 of sovereignty. I believe he's going to be going here. You know,
Nemesis is ganking. She's trying to make sure that they're not stealing and invading on that purple. She dashed the Yemoja ult coming out to make sure she doesn't get in there, and she's going to be able to just walk away from that. A good de-escalation coming out of the Yemoja there.
Yes, that's another example of Yemoja where her kit is just always going to be good, right? Like she had no Omi there, but that You know, the one ability that mattered in that case doesn't need it. Doesn't need that Omi, so she's feeling good there. Gilgamesh, oh my, catching a lazy back. I mean, he's most likely going to die for this. But, oh,
And
Apollo comes in, saved, and the shell! Oh, that's criminal, man. That's...
Blink coming up from Nemesis. She wants to make sure she's getting in on this action here. She's going to be able
hit
to...
the auto-cancel. There you go.
Good job from the Nemesis, getting a nice cleanup. Apollo is trying to box, but he is missing, and she is not double kill for virtually on the Nemesis. Gonna hop away.
Wow, that is a bold leap in by the Gilgamesh without beads, but I respect it. You got to get in there. Again, sometimes you just got to get in there. Well played by the Nemesis to trade those 2 kills back, especially getting that auto-cancel on the Emoji. She was about to have enough Omi to get herself out of there with another little teleport. No dash or blink to help them catch up at that point either. So... Now, as we look at this, that was a very nice play by the Gilgamesh, though, to catch them sleeping there. I mean, look at that player damage. 785, he only needed, like, 100 of that damage to get that kill on the lazy backing. I believe it was the Apollo who got caught. Or not the Apollo, pardon me, the Hou-Yi. Big thing to note here, Apollo coming out of base after that kill most likely has enough gold for Transcendence versus the Hou-Yi did not. So he's going to have some stacks, an advantage in the stacks department. Same thing with this... Uller's already been stacking as well. And look at Kleena. Man, what a fun character in solo lane, right? 50 stacks on the Soul Eater. I'm only going to assume that a gank is coming out. Or not a gank. Ooh, big drop kick to save himself.
Ooh, Nemesis all coming out because she knows that dash is down, but she's getting ganked by the Cleo as well. One of the ultimates come out from Cleo. Yamoja coming out with the stun, not connecting on anything, but the Jing Chen gets a 4-man ult away from his team. What a good ultimate. Oh, you love to see that. But Gilgamesh ult is coming out as well, and that is Raijin drums dropping down right onto that Gilgamesh, and that is a kill. Gilgamesh falls. Yamoja ult coming back out. Every time they start it up, they stop it and start it again. Yamoja ult going to connect onto the Jing Chen. Jing Chen knocking one up, and Cleo falls to the virtually Nemesis.
Wow, very well played by Waffle Hut there. They were able to escape with the Nemesis surviving and then coming back into the fight later on too. And it looks like we're still not done here somehow. Raijin with some fantastic drumming to secure those kills too as well. I'm quite impressed. So that's a beads from the Uller. That was a very good beads to ensure that he gets
that's a good axe from the Uller. Oh my goodness. Definitely overextended into that jungle there, Nemesis, and got punished for it hard by that Uller and Gilgamesh.
You know, again, we're at that run it down time of night. You know, it's 9:30 out here in the East Coast. I assume most of these players are playing from somewhere in the States. And, you know, sometimes it's just time. Sometimes, excuse me, sometimes you just gotta get in there. Uller going for an in.
Getting jumped on super heavy. He has no mana to escape, and he is gonna fall. He was just a sitting duck if he really couldn't get away from that Raijin. Raijin right now 1-0, getting a kill earlier, and that kill had gone to Jing Chen, who was 2-1.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty good KS by the Jing Chen. You know, don't you love it when your support comes in and just takes that last hit, uses a basic attack or something to take it. But you know what? At the end of the day, they need that gold. I mean, again, fun fact about Thebes: you only get assists from minion deaths. However, you get 5 stacks whether you assist a kill or you kill them yourselves. It's a little you know, counterintuitive, right? You would think that it would be consistent, but we are talking about a high-res game here, so you know, consistency is not. It's not key. Look at this.
Not a thing, but that is a lot of damage from the Apollo onto the Hou-Yi, and he gets jumped on by the Gilgamesh and does fall.
That is a Goomba stomp by that Gilgamesh. If I was the Apollo, I'd be a little annoyed right now myself too. I was just say I was gonna solo him. That was my solo kill. But sharing is caring. Especially when you
keep in mind, friends, if it's your first, if you're just now getting into Smite for whatever reason, KS is only a thing in casuals pre-level 60. Anything after that, it goes from kill steal to kill secure.
Yes, kill secure, totally. Yes. That's us junglers love hearing that. You know, it's the common excuse, right? Now Nemesis with the blink. Going on the Apollo here, this is
the Yamoja ult coming out. She has nowhere to go. That's a Gilgamesh ult as well. Nemesis is going to fall to that Yamoja, who got very, very big-headed there. And oh
That's
my
just
god, that's a really good um, zoning from the Yamoja onto that Jing Chen. But Gilgamesh is a little low. If Hu Yi can hit a bounce, psych, he lied, and Gilgamesh is going to be able to just walk away.
yep. Gilgamesh has a level on him at
But
this point.
Raijin is going to fall to the Apollo. That is a 3-man gank onto Raijin. Nowhere to go.
What is going on in this game? There's a lot of action early on here. 6-6 at 10 minutes, man, and again, every team's running it down. That Nemesis got a little bit ahead of themselves. Trying to, uh, blinking in on an Apollo who can just mess you and dash away, especially with the safety of the Nemesis or not Nemesis, Yamoja there as well. I
Why
mean, that
is
was
he ulting? What is he ulting?
saving
He
himself,
really, he could have just walked away.
Nah, no, 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 no. You never know. You never know. That's a yeah, you know what? Well, this is the omniscient view that we have. It's maybe they were a little more worried about the damage coming out by the enemy team there, but we do see the red buff being secured by Waffle Hut here. I mean, this Raijin is looking pretty good so far, I gotta say. I mean, yeah, they just died in mid for whatever reason, but with their beads up, but at the end of the day, they do get their red buff, and they do have a 2-level lead on the Uller as well. I mean, again, this game has just been weird. Oh, Raijin. Oh man, I was with the way this game's been going, I was fully expecting him to be dashing in here. Now that's one thing I just noticed too. Same thing happened in the first game. We did not see these Scorpions being prioritized, and I can tell you that my team gets very annoyed with me because I am asking for them to do Scorpion at 5 minutes. This thing is free gold, and maybe I'm going to be spreading some propaganda here, but there is no reason not to be doing this every time it's on the map. It takes one set of abilities from your mage, and if your jungler's a Nemesis or a Gilgamesh, you're going to be shredding that thing so super quickly. Again, free gold and experience for your entire team, and sometimes those buffed buffs, they help. They make a big difference. It gives you a little life steal in mid on someone like Uller, who doesn't have it built into their kit unless they're an axe stance. Usually doesn't have life steal in their builds. It's just that little bit can make a big difference. We do see a full cooldown build coming out of the Uller here with the trans into Jotuns. He's going to be hitting very hard, throwing those axes out as fast as possible. Now Nemesis is at one of her stronger points in her game as well. That's unfortunate to see the swing and a miss a bit on the emoji ult there.
And right now, the Jing Chen is trying to get away. Not hitting anyone with the knockup. Apollo coming in with the mess. He is going to ult there. He hits 2 and is going back in. That's kind of questionable. He does get beat up by that Gilgamesh, and he is really not getting anywhere. Nemesis is going to be getting the kill onto the Apollo right now. Raijin is trying to get that kill onto the Yamoja. Double kill.
And Jing lives. Oh my goodness. Well played by Waffle Hut there to not only get in there and take those kills, but man, that Jing Chen, Gilgamesh got a little bit tunnel vision, it looked like, on that Jing Chen. Now they're gonna be able to get this Gold Fury for free with Temp on the other side of the map, doing clean things. I mean, well, if we can get the levels one last time. I mean, yeah, level 13 at 13 minutes. I mean, Arthur's been allowed to do the same thing, but man, what the heck is that? And look at that solo lane build coming out of that clean though with the Soul Eater into Transcendence. It's Arthur. And now this is where the things get dangerous, because with a comp like this for Izamommies, right? You want to be winning hard early game because you have that 4 physical, right? You don't have that magical damage outside of Yamoja. So you need to be ahead to make sure you can kill these tanks. Let's just take a peep at that Arthur build, right? He's got a sovereignty. That's what is that? That's 70 or that's 75 protections for free, right? With the aura and the natural protections. Then he's got Glad Shield. That's another, 35 protections and damage. 40 protections. Gosh, why is that so strong? High res. And then he's now got tier 2 breastplate. He isn't even concerned about that Yamoja damage at this point in the game. And
I wouldn't even build it. Personally, I wouldn't build a single ounce of magical damage.
I would maybe go a Spirit Robe, so that way you've got a little bit of those procs, and then obviously you're still getting a decent item as well in that slot. Man, we are, again, he's just been having fun doing his little Beyblade things. They are, I mean, yeah, that's...
Wait, there's a fight in both lanes on both sides of the map. Hu Yi is losing that exchange, and so is Cleo. One of Cleo's ults come out, and she is going to be able to get into the wall.
Cool character, right? Isn't that cool? Oh, and look at her too, by the way, almost full health after coming out of the wall because she was life stealing off that wave. Isn't that cool? Now coming back
As
out of
the
that
blink
wall.
coming out of Nemesis, Cleo is looking very, very shaky. She's not going to be able to get out of this one. Nemesis getting the kill onto the Cleo. Ullr's going to be able to jump away while Jing Chen ult was forced. Whereas Ullr's beads forced there. No, they were not up. Jing Chen just missed that one.
The Yoler was able to get himself out of that ultimate just in time. Apollo coming over, seeing if he can come help, but he's almost bit off too much to eat. I mean, look at that. The Raijin doing the
Good
damage.
Raijin damage. Holy smokes, a double kill for Virtually on that Nemesis. Very strong, a triple kill on the Nemesis. 8 and 2 at 15 minutes. She is that, my boy.
Wow, that is a build that you can go on Nemesis as well. I love the first two items here. The the Golden Blade straight into the Stone Cutting. Stone Cutting is one of those items that she uses so well, and especially and again, those physical prots are getting so much value this game more than anywhere else. The Hasten Katana, I respect it. You know, that's an item that you would think would be really good on Nemesis. I'm surprised to see it pulled out here myself because one of the things that she doesn't struggle with is sticking to enemies. You know, she's got the slow built into her ultimate, and then the slow on, I believe it's like an 8-second cooldown on her too as well, and a double dash. You know, usually she doesn't need help sticking to her opponents, but I mean, at this point, when you're this far ahead, there's almost nothing that you can build that's wrong in this case. I mean, again, I would have, I'd love to see even a Berserker Shield come out of Nemesis here. I mean, then she's unkillable at this point in the game, right? I mean, that's, the Erendite is a great pickup here as well. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, she loves the little bit of cooldown it gives, and that passive is just so strong in her. 3 levels up. I mean, who's killing a Nemesis at this point in the game as well? They don't have a lot. Gilgamesh has some decent hard CC to take away her shield. Apollo is pretty safe from her because of the he's got 2 ways to interrupt her shield and get away from her. But the rest of the team, I mean, what else do you do?
Right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't. This is a tough place to be in for the Izamommies. I mean, there's
with the draft that they have, what? Oh, that was Apollo. And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, is that Danzaburo ult in the random
I
game?
was so confused.
Yeah, no. Well,
okay, well, he is dropping back down onto the Hu Yi. Hu Yi is just kind of hovering, going to jump over. Yamoja ult coming out. And right now, Nemesis ult going to get dropped onto the Gilgamesh. She is jumping on him. Gilgamesh drops ult himself. Raijin shows up, cleans up the Gilgamesh, punching out more damage onto that Ullr. Ullr about half health. Hu Yi is somehow still alive. Cleo had rotated over as well before King Arthur gets there, and Apollo gets a shutdown onto the Nemesis. Apollo also getting a kill onto the Hu Yi, but Apollo and then falls to the Jing Chen. King Arthur ultimate coming out onto the Ullr. Cleo getting a kill onto the Raijin. Spin the win coming from Ullr. Cleo going into that wall. That fight looks like it is over. Yeah, that was a lot that went on right there, and I can't say that Izamommies did bad with that one.
They didn't do bad. They did get the shutdown on the Nemesis. However, that gold hardly swung, and you just saw that Arthur is unkillable at this point in the game. He is going to take a lot to kill this level 17 Arthur at this point in the game. I mean, he has 5 levels on the Ullr in mid. And the Apollo, again, he's got some pen now built in, but with that Silver Branch. But man, that is a tanky man. I mean, he's the king for a reason, I guess. Now, one thing to note, me with my omniscient view, notice that the Apollo, we saw firsthand what we were just talking about, right? With Nemesis gonna struggle to kill the Apollo because he's got that Mez to interrupt that shield. She blinks onto him. He can just Mez, dash away, and then ult and get out. And there's really not much that she can do there to change how that goes. I mean, she can pre-beads the Mez, but if you're doing that at that point, I'm going to stop talking real quick.
Nemesis ult coming out onto the Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh had to drop ult, but he still falls to that King Arthur. Nemesis and King Arthur are chasing Cleo under tower, but she's going to be able to get in. Psych, she lied. She's not getting into that wall. Not today, and right now, Yamoja ulting to try and buy that Cleo some time. She's throwing a lot of heals and a lot of shields onto her. But right now, Nemesis is very low, running way into their jungle to try to get away from Ullr, and she walks right into that axe. Nemesis falling again. And right now it is a 3v2, but King Arthur is a tanky boy. He's not going anywhere. Apollo getting a kill onto the Hu Yi just barely. What a close trade. Wish we could have seen that one, but there's much bigger things. And he looks like he's rotating over to the solo lane right now. King Arthur taking up who looks to be Yamojin to the air. Oh, that is Cleo. Cleo falls to the King Arthur ult. Apollo ulting in. No, he looks like he's going home.
I don't blame him one bit. After that, Cleo gets taken out of that fight, I would have done the same thing. I mean, again, that Arthur, he's going to be taking. I bet he's getting auto attacked, especially now that he's got that spectral built as well. He's taking maybe 100 damage per auto from this Apollo at this point in the game. There's just no way, no if and or buts about it at this point in the game. He is just too tanky to kill. I mean, you saw him get, I believe, 2 charged ults off in that team fight. He is just, God, man, I would be very sad to be on the Izamommies right now if I was them. That is not a fun character to play into from behind, especially when he's allowed to just build like this.
This is why I say 4 physicals or 4 magicals is not fun. It's very easy to just kind of get one defense item to make sure you have something against that one solo side, and then just build 5 other items that are solely for the 4 people that are, all in the same class. You don't want to be on the side of 4 physical or 4 magical, because it is very difficult if you can't shut down certain people like King Arthur.
Yeah, this is interesting to see too, because like we're seeing the outcome as well of that 4 physical in Gilgamesh's damage, and I mean we've been seeing him get in there too. His ults have been very good. He's been able to help take out that Nemesis early game and do other things, but he's built this pretty much full damage build at this point, and he's so low down in the damage charts mainly because either he's fighting around the Arthur, who has 3 tank items if against him. Oh, Nemesis getting caught out here.
Had to use beads to get out of that one. And Yamoja ult coming out, but she did get the beads from the Nemesis. King Arthur rotating over to mid lane. Taking up 2 people with that stun. Yeah, like 2 people with that knockup is nutty. And look at him. He's taking damage, but at the same time, he's not taking damage. Like, for 2 hunters, he's not dying.
That axe just hit him for like 90 damage. He didn't even lose a single tick on his health bar there. That's crazy. And Uller has like 10% pen and like a pretty decent build at this point. But yeah, so we're seeing this poor Gilgamesh is just getting bullied, and again, he's only got 5k damage, but how is he supposed to do damage when you look at the back line is able to have a Sov on them at all times, and then if they're diving too, if he's trying to kill that frontliner in that King Arthur, he's going to be facing a sovereignty as well. This is where it's really hard to be a jungler in this situation and feel useful, especially when you're getting Nem ulted, when you're getting Raijin comboed and interrupted. It's tough. And now look at that anti-heal getting spread out on all 4 characters too.
They are sieging a tower with that Tribute up as well. They're going to be looking for Primal Fury, the most useless of the Gold Furies.
Oh man, tell me you're a gold player without telling me you're a gold player.
I will go for Primal if I can, but if don't die for Primal. Look at that. Apollo jumping right in onto that Raijin. Nemesis is very low. She's going to have to get out. And Cleo is chasing down that Hu Yi. Ulting onto the Hu Yi. Is he going to be able to fall? Camera's able to barely keep up. There's so much action going on here. King Arthur spin to win. He is making that Cleo go back to the hellhole where she came.
Man, this is I mean that's just a matter of pulling the objective incorrectly. Raijin should never be tanking, especially with an Apollo on the map. And obviously, yes, good point. Good job by our cam here to point out the ward coverage as well by the Izamommies. But so good they feel like boarding it twice. It's just. Like, why is Raijin tanking that to the point where he can get Apollo dunked like that? It's just poor communication, I think, on the sides of the Waffle Hut. They just needed to pull that objective better, pull it more cleanly. I think, they should almost never be dying, quote unquote, for that objective, right? That should be a free Primal Fury. And man, I know it obviously isn't as flashy as that Oni Fury that gives you those minions that are just pushing down and doing a lot, but it is so important to your damage. I mean, if they had it, this Fire Giant pull Waffle Hut, if they had a Primal Fury right now, that Fire Giant would be at half damage or half health by now. But look at this. No one is on the side of the map. Gilgamesh blinks in, tosses an ultimate down, but these guys say, okay, thank you for the help on the DPS, especially with you leaping back out. Looks like a coin flip's coming, but Raijin's trying to ult it.
It does go the way of Waffle House. Yeah, Major Raijin had to ult to secure that one, but Nemesis getting a kill onto the King. Onto Kingfisher, onto Uller. Apollo jumping in onto 4 people, getting multiple relics all at the same time. He's gonna be able to walk away because he did not get that proc from the Raijin. Yamoja ultimate coming out as well, but Apollo does fall to Patroclus under that King Arthur, and they're gonna just push down on this T2 and solo lane.
That was a massive Apollo ultimate. Very well done to hit 2 backliners there. However, at this point in the game, again, it's going to be so hard for them to kill that backline because the Gilgamesh was already down at that point, and the Cleo was being chased out of on her own as well. So where's the follow-up damage coming from? It's not, especially with the tankiness of the backline, with that Xing Chen nearby, providing them that sovereignty passive, it's going to be tough. And now we see this gold swing just continue to grow. I mean, the XP as well. 13,000 experience, and we're at this point in the game where it's not going to matter too much between backline, but I believe everyone is I believe there's a level 20 on the side of the Izamommies at this point. Is there? Oh, there is the Apollo. But man, look at that across the board, levels 20 and 17 even in the support role. This is this stuff. I mean, what is Uller supposed to do? He's probably autoing that Xing Chen for less than 100 damage at this point in the game, and it's only going to get worse, too. I mean, we expect to probably see a Spectral or maybe even a... actually, I believe Nemean is comp ban. Let's see if they can pull this objective properly here, too.
That's twice right there that they didn't pull it properly.
They did not pull it.
Patrick's finding a kill onto... He is 1v4 right now, and he is just walking away, doing King Arthur things, and
1v5
Gilgamesh has jumped over, and he is spinning to winning, just staying alive. And this is why you don't go for physicals. Nemesis coming in, getting an ultimate onto, who was that? Cleo? Raijin coming in and ulting as well. Virtually going to get the kill onto Gilgamesh, who does fall again. Not having a good game on that Gilgamesh, but Nemesis took a couple of Phoenix shots. Fire Giant's going to heal you up right away. Yamoja ult coming out, but they are going to be able to take that Phoenix into mid lane. King Arthur overextending this a little bit, but it is King Arthur. I don't know what else to expect. They get the Phoenix in mid lane. There's already a Phoenix down in solo lane. They just have to get the T2 in duo, and they're going to have easy breezy, beautiful cover girl sieging for that Titan whenever it does come time.
Yeah, I mean, this is the writing was on the wall at the beginning of the match, right? With the with who was tanking what, and the draft, I think, significantly favored Waffle Hut if the game got to this point. And yes, we are seeing the Hyde and me and gang pulled out here, so I guess it isn't comp banned anymore. Who knows? But that is, I mean, now Arthur is taking 60 probably damage per auto attack from the ADCs at this point in the game. Like, it is just, I don't believe Uller has any percent pen other than Hydra's at this point yet either. I mean, it looks like he's going the Heartseeker, but there's just gonna be no damage. There's no, you saw it firsthand there, right, with the with the King Arthur 1v4ing twice and getting a kill as well while 1v4ing. I mean, man, this is it's definitely a case of Patroclus popping off, but it's also he was dealt pocket aces in this hand of for sure, being able to build like this and just run it down on King Arthur. It must be feeling really good for him right now.
Yeah, if we if we get to see, I mean, the way it's going right now, I don't think we're gonna be seeing a game 3 unless, you know, Izamommies just all of a sudden turns like Waffle House did in the last game and just kind of brings it back all of a sudden. It is still anybody's game. It's not over yet till the fat lady sings, or the fat Bacchus, I like to say. But we got to see some major turnaround from Izamommies to really kind of bring them back into anything. They're down almost 20,000 gold and 13 kills.
Yeah, that, and I mean, look at the state of the map as well. There's still 4 towers up for Waffle Hut. I mean, it's going to take not just one sweeping team fight. It's going to take multiple. And I mean, look at that. Arthur just walks up. What's Emoja supposed to do to save Uller there? There's nothing.
Nothing she can do. Cleo gets into the wall. Xing Chen ulting. Raijin is getting a lot of damage out onto that. That's Yomoja right there. Apollo is going to kill Nemesis, but Raijin is going to get the kill onto Cleo, who is not having a hot game right now. It is not a hot girl summer for her. And Raijin jumping in place just to, I guess, secure some damage, and he's very low, but Fire Giant's kind of ticking him back up. And Gilgamesh missed the drop kick, but does still get the kill onto the Raijin. Gilgamesh is now going to be jumping in onto that King Arthur. Not the person I would want to box with right now, but I choose life.
Yeah, I mean, he is level 20 now. You know, he's got that going for him, but he does still only have 10% pen at this point in the game, right? I mean, he's going for that hybrid build because he has to at this point. He can't survive without it. We'll have to see what. I mean, again, they almost held base, or they did hold base there, but they still lost the Phoenix. They and now EFG has spawned. It's going to be really, really tough for Izamommies. I mean, again, that fight went about as well as it could have, considering they lost their Uller right at the start of that fight for essentially for free. I believe I mean, King Arthur even has his blink up still. After that whole fight, he still has his blink. I wonder why Uller was able, or how Uller was allowed to be goad on like that. I mean, that looked like he almost got one shot too by that Arthur ultimate.
Yeah, he's the Apollo right now is the only person who's really like just been consistent in both games. He had a great showing on Hu Yi in the last game, and he's doing really well on Apollo, but he can only do so much. They are just kind of getting just steamrolled right now with the King Arthur just allowed to be King Arthur. Great showcase from Patrocles on the King Arthur, excuse me. Nemesis also has been doing great all game long, getting a triple kill earlier this game. And Raijin, we were talking about Raijin not doing a lot of damage, but he is third for damage in the entire game at 17,000, only behind Nemesis. Oh, I'm sorry, we were looking at the wrong chart. Raijin is sixth on that chart with King Arthur at 40,000 player damage. Apollo is at 32, and Nemesis third place at 26,000. Gilgamesh
a lot.
not Gilgamesh is not having a good time at all. Uller, same boat. He's running the same thing that was built last time, but it's not enough into a team that can just build physical defense and not have to worry about any magical.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a clinic being run by the front line of the Waffle Hut right now. And again, they were dealt these pocket aces, being able to build the way that they built, but it's gonna be so difficult. I mean, even the Raijin, yeah, like we said, you look at that 20,000 damage. That's still magical damage, and look at their builds. You know, they've got the Spirit Robe. Kleena has Oni Hunter's Garb, right? Like, there's other items that are being forced to be built rather than being allowed to just build full physical defense. Now,
Yeah, King Arthur he's picking up Sledge just to give him
Yeah.
some kind of magical defense that if Yamoja is turning out to be any type of issue, but he really can just free build with no hesitation. Surprised, actually, he didn't get like a Witchblade with an Uller and an Apollo. A Gilgamesh even would really kind of mess up all of them, but he doesn't need to with the build that he's going.
Yeah, I mean, Arthur pretty much is one of those characters that builds the same exact thing every game. He's one of the few solo laners that you don't really counter build the enemy team on, right? You always want to get that Sov. You always want to have that Glad Shield. Most likely want to have a Spectral, maybe just not in this order normally, right? Where you have to build around, you have to get your Oni Hunter's Garb or a Genji's Guard for you get that Spectral online. But again, he's been given so much flexibility that he's just able to run it down. And I mean, look at this this difference between the two front lines. Looking at 17, 5, and 22 on the side of Waffle Hut versus 3, 14, and 7 on the side of Izamommies. They have just not been allowed to get in there. I mean, this Nemesis is also, look at her, drawing 3 over towards her. I mean, Apollo dashing in too. I mean, Nemesis doesn't care. She just says, all right, I'll just hit Bird 4 times, and look at that. Now what are you going to do to me? You're gonna ult away now. Now we see this Apollo going in. This is a
He's gonna
5v4
be
that they're gonna
going
have.
in, potentially gonna be jumping in onto that big fight over there. King Arthur taking someone up into the air right now, just losing a little bit of what I can see here. Visibility though, but Gilgamesh ult is coming out. Big Raijin ult as well, getting some good damage off and trying to self-heal for himself. Nemesis is getting a kill onto who was that? That is Uller. Double kill for Nemesis. She's getting both ADCs out very early into the fight. King Arthur making sure that Cleo just can't really go anywhere.
Man, look at that Arthur.
Another triple kill for that Nemesis. That is 4 people down in the way of Izamommies. This Fire Giant is free, but Raijin dying to the Fire Giant. You hate to see it.
Yeah, well, I don't know if we're looking at that King Arthur health bar at all. Oh, we just dropped the Fire Giant. I mean, I guess they do call for the end. They've got 20 seconds to end the game. Their ADC is dead, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. This is interesting. I mean, I respect it. They're so tanky. I mean, I don't blame them for feeling so confident, but Gilgamesh might be able to hold here. He does get his Bumbus Hammer as well, so he should be able to do some decent damage here. He got his ult back already, too, and now here comes Kingfisher.
Coming out, and Uller is back in the game as well, but Nemesis is reflecting a lot of damage, just kind of chasing Uller back into the fountain. He has to jump away, even though he's right there. Nemesis ult coming out as well. King Arthur bringing someone up into the air, but he gets mezzed out just a little bit, and virtually going to get another kill onto the Gilgamesh. And they're definitely not going to be able to take this Fiend on this Titan, but they bring it down to a little bit of damage. Uller missing the one. You hate to see it, but Apollo finding that kill onto the Jing Chen.
The base has been held. It costs you the life of your poor jungler, who is just not having a good time being the glutton of punishment here. But at the end of the day, they do hold their base, and then this is the lowest.
Why is he chasing? Of anyone to chase on the map, that's not it.
Oh,
but
that's why.
King Arthur, he's taking 73 damage from a crit, but
yeah,
he's going to be able to just spin away because it's King Arthur. But a Raijin ult going to secure that Uller. They had definitely overextended, chasing the tankiest person in the game easily. Uller ulting onto that Yemoja. Yemoja going to fall to the Hu Yi ult, and I said Uller. Hu Yi had ulted on Yemoja. Yemoja falling now, and that is putting Izamommies down 3 people. Beads coming out of someone, Aegis coming out, and virtually on a rampage. 15-5 for the Nemesis pick. Doing very well this set.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but that King Arthur was like 25% health, and he still survived about 5 or 6 auto attacks from the enemy backline. Oh, another triple kill from Nemesis as well, but
3 triple kills, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be the game. Waffle Hut taking that game 2-0. What a phenomenal showcasing from that King Arthur this game. And Nemesis.
you can't knock the 30 kill involvement game from a Nemesis, especially out of 37. 30 out of 37 kills from your team you were involved in. That's a good feeling as a jungler. But it is so, I'm sure if we were to ask, they would give a lot of credit to that King Arthur because they created so much space. I mean, look at that damage mitigated. Let's look at those stats right there. I was going to ask.
82,000 damage. The next closest person is Yemoja. I'm sorry, Jing Chen at 57. That is a lot of damage mitigated, and he didn't die, not once. 8-0 as a King Arthur because he was able to just not have to worry about like magical damage, and you need that to make sure you can actually survive team fights.
So not only did, if we go back to that stat screen one more time real quick, not only did he mitigate more damage than the entirety of the enemy team did throughout the rest of the match on everybody else, but he also outdamaged both backliners combined, or essentially outdamaged them, right? So that is about as clean as you can get. I mean, again, Nemesis out there with the 37,000 damage done as well. They're feeling really good. Poor warding. I'm gonna call that one out because I'm a negative Nancy. But hey, at the end of the day, that sometimes you just don't need them. So hey, you know what? Sometimes everyone else on your team is warding, and you don't got to do it. That's okay. I get it. But yeah, like those two combined, just it was hell for that Uller and for that Apollo. They were unable to survive, and Yemoja does not peel Nemesis particularly well compared to other supports. So that's a That's one thing you might be able to note. And then again, what's your initiation outside of a Gilgamesh Blink dropkick? If you're the Izamommies here, right? What's your thing that's leading you into a fight other than a Yamoja ult catching someone who's out of position? But Jing Chen, super safe, hard to catch out of position, right? Arthur, he's going to be CC immune and Tremble immune throughout most of those ultimates as well. The Yamoja ult, he's not going to get collapsed on unless he gets caught really bad.
Yeah, he was 1v4ing. Like
Yeah,
he was not getting caught. King Arthur was not getting caught. And looking at the builds as well, the Jing Chen had just full physical defense. He didn't even bother going any type of magical defense besides what Thebes may offer him. And King Arthur the same thing. Technically, Hu Yi could have built some magical or some physical defense just to. Same thing with the Raijin, which he did. Raijin has breastplate
yep.
just to survive. And that's all you're gonna need because you don't have to worry about getting blown up from a Thoth or an Agni or anyone like that. It's unfortunate. The double hunter meta is good, but you needed something. The Hades was very necessary in the last game because he gave you frontline and magical damage. In this game, you just had Yamoja.
Yeah, and especially because Yamoja isn't your traditional support, right? She's not your traditional frontlining, tanking a lot of damage for you type of character. So it's hard. It's really hard. And this is all stuff we can say in hindsight, right? It's not something that we are thinking too much. We're not being too hard on maybe because at the end of the day, sometimes that just happens. You draft, you think to yourself, I've got a really good draft so far. And then you look back and you're like, oh no, we have 4 physical. Or, oh no, we have no CC. That's
I am
you
I
lock
am the
in.
first person to call out for physicals before we even lock it. We talk so much in on my team. I am the first. Like if we do this, we're having 4 physicals or we're running 4 magicals. Like it's actually very rare if you run if you run 4 magicals, you're doing something. You're running like a Freya and a Chronos at the same time. Like it's something really really weird. But it's you just got to be careful of drafting like that. Double hunters is good if you have a solo lane that can counteract that. But you ran Cleo, who didn't shine all too well in this game. Definitely going to be something to learn from. They did play their hearts out in the first game for sure. And it was just a draft difference in the second.
Yeah, again, it's hard to pick on certain players either, especially because, like, what are you supposed to do as a Gilgamesh jungle, right? When you are behind already, right? And then suddenly you look at the enemy team support and they've got Thebes Sav finished off mid game. And meanwhile, you're sitting on what was it? I believe it was Golden Blade Hydras, and you're gonna be autoing the tank for like 60 and the backline for like 100. And at that point in the game, they've already got either their first crit item or a full transcendence. They're smacking you around. You've got a nemesis ult getting thrown on you too. It's very difficult. But you reap what you sow, right? With the draft, and I think that that's exactly what happened here with the Izumami. Is they uh, or the Waffle Hut. Why I keep calling them Waffle House. Waffle Hut keeps bringing out the building it brick by brick, building that defense up, and then uh, able to just run it down at these guys again. Because some of those clips with the Arthur were just like, this looks like pre Glad Shield nerf King Arthur right now almost, right? Like that's
Hmm.
oh man.
When King Arthur is in every top 5 play of the game, every week for like 3 months, like at least one King Arthur play because he was just that good. So yeah, very very good showcase from both teams. King Arthur in this second game absolutely popping off and did a phenomenal job. Um, I definitely say overall MVP. Gonna give that one to. I'm gonna give that one to Patrocles. He did a phenomenal job. Are we spectating more games?
Oh, we might. We'll have to find out soon. But I don't know, man. I am almost biased here into maybe I'm a little biased because I'm a jungler, but I think virtually made that difference in that game. I mean, again, look at that 30 out of 37 kills involved. That's 8 more than anybody else on the team. That was nearby. So again. That's what you want to see out of your jungler. Same thing happened early game with Kali. He was getting involved. He had a little bit of a struggle in the mid game after he trolled a bit, but then he pulled it back together and brought his team to victory, being a Kali late game as well. As he should. But at the end of the day, if you don't do it, then you're gonna get called out for it. But he did it. So I don't know. I think to me, virtually is the MVP of this set. But Patrick Lees did put on a clinic that last game, game
He was
two.
he was putting the hurt on everybody. Definitely very very good game, good showcase. My team, the 5Ds, are actually going to be going up against, I believe it's Waffle House, next week sometime. So definitely going to have our work cut out for us. Hopefully we can minimize the casualties and make sure we just play our best. So good job from the Izamommies and Waffle House, and good luck to Waffle House when we do face off next week. I'm looking forward to it, and I know my team is.
Yes, that's right. You guys will be playing them. That's exciting stuff. Gosh, we gotta start planning our schedule too for our premiere match. That'll maybe get our first win under our belts. That'd be kind of nice. But yeah, let's see. So just to double check, it doesn't look like we will be spectating this game. But if you do want to be seeing the games that are being played right now, you will have to tune back in tomorrow night to the Husky Fang Draft League Twitch to see these games being casted. I don't believe I will be on the desk because I will be busy, but maybe Sean will be back, and you get to listen to the more fun caster anyways.
Stop. No, you were definitely there, making sure I got the breather that I needed, and being able to give up that good energy when I wasn't. So definitely appreciate you, Paxi, coming out here. But it's looking like we're gonna be wrapping this one up. Paxi, you want to say anything else before we close this out?
No, I don't think so. I think I've done enough trolling and done enough, on backhanded compliments to a lot of these players. It's all love here, especially as a premier, one of the premier players and a vice captain. So, again, that was a fantastic set to watch. I think both teams can learn a lot from that set as well. One team learned to ban Kali. They also learned maybe don't build Fort Physical in a Yamoja, right? While on the other side, this team saw that the Nemesis, they seem to figure out not only how to play the Nemesis, but how to play into it as well. So I think that'll be lessons learned from both teams, and maybe virtually you'll buy award next game. We'll have to see.
To the next time for sure. So yeah, good showcase from Izamommies and Waffle Hut. Appreciate you guys showing out, giving us something to cast. Again, shout out to our Cam SEAL Team Bricks. Appreciate you, my boy. And that's gonna be it for us tonight, folks. Tune in next time with the Husky Fang Draft League. But you heard me, Jersey.